Hey, what's up, everybody? This is BDF44 coming at you with another video. It's been a couple weeks, haven't really said much, didn't really have much to say, but today I do, and I'd like to talk about my Lakers. Jeanie Buss, we need to hire a president. The reports that are coming out, if they are accurate, they lend itself to something that I'm hoping isn't the case, and that's us deciding that we're going to allow Rob Pelinka to run the whole thing. I don't think that's fair for Rob. Because you're asking him to do two jobs that probably should be spliced up into about 3 or 4 positions. And I think at this point, we're also looking at the reputation that's being put out there about Rob in regards to him being difficult to make deals with. I don't know that he's a difficult person. I haven't heard those words, but in terms of just trying to get people to work with him has proven to be a problem. If those reports are true, we have to respect that aspect of the situation in its entirety. You know, when someone's not able to do a job because their hands are tied, there's really nowhere to go at that point but to try to cut ties with them. Now you can try to help them improve their situation by maybe giving them a different position within the organization that will allow him to still have input in some of the same areas, but he cannot be the face of your general manager position when no one is willing to speak with him. So if that is indeed the case, we have to respect that regardless of what we think of the man. I also think that at this point in time, we got to learn how to trust people. I think that if I'm reading in between the lines here with the Lakers, it seems like because we've gone through some situations where folks have betrayed one another, and maybe we were put in positions to where we had to look at our own morals in one way or another, and you don't know who to trust now. But you got to trust that individuals have their own interests at heart. You got to trust that individuals are going to see the fruit in building this thing back up as a means of helping their own personal interests and supporting their own personal interests. And that's what you can trust people to do. I always say to myself, you don't have to trust people in terms of just trusting them with your life, but you can trust them to be who they are. And in a situation like this, you got to trust that building a Lakers organization is going to boost someone else's career tremendously. And you want to hire somebody who sees that way. You know what I mean? That's what you trust. As far as the Lakers timeline, I think we got to bring a guy in. Again, this starts with the president, who has a vision for LeBron James. Now, if that vision is to have LeBron James be the team player we build around, do that. If you try to make him a secondary player going forward, do that. If you think you got to let him go, do that. But one thing that we must do is have a plan in place for the next 3 years of his contract. Now, working with his team and all that, I'm sure they will work for the betterment of him and what's best for the team that he's on. He wants to be here. He wants to see this thing built, and I don't think he's ready to quit on it at all. I think, listening to what he has and his vision for the organization is wise, seeing this where he's projected to go individually from not only now but going forward. That's kind of why you get in business with a guy like LeBron, because you believe in his movement. So let him do what he does in regards to this organization, because if he has enough say so, he's going to assure that his destiny is aligned with our destiny, and that's again why you get in business with a guy in the first place. So I like that idea. Waiting for Anthony Davis until 2020 is smart. Keep Lonzo, keep the kids, unless you're planning on getting a third piece. But you don't want to bring in somebody who's going to be only under contract for a year, and in turn letting go more young talent. That doesn't make any sense. When you let go of young talent, you're sending the message that you think you made the right decision in the past doing so, and it wasn't. So keep the kids that you have, Brandon Ingram, Lonzo Ball, Kyle Kuzma. Those are the 3 that you must keep from here on out. I respect Josh Hart. I respect some of the other guys. I like Isaac Bonga, as I've mentioned before. I'm a big fan of his. So I would like to see those guys on this team as well. And then for me, it's like the free agents that you really want, the big name guys, they're going to be formulating as the league continues to develop. Some of the names that you're going to want to pay $150 million to 3 years from now may not be guys that you realize you want to pay that right now. Like, you probably want to look at upside. Look at guys like Siakam and things like that, and how their trajectory is headed, and try to find the next one of those for the cheap. That's how you want to do it. So, looking at free agency and all of that, I'm not really worried about the big names, because a lot of the players that we want to acquire going forward probably aren't big yet. So invest in the draft picks. That would be something I would be invested in if I were a GM, highly. Not only in the picks, but in the development of those players, in the scouting of those players, in the nutrition aspect of it. See, a lot of times, this is what I want to say. A lot of times, young players and young people don't understand how to take care of their bodies. But if you can identify who has the potential that you're interested in, you gotta try to approach that angle of their development early. And that's why I like having the G League and things like that available to these kids, because a lot of times I don't feel like they're getting those things in high school, especially if they're coming from public schools, and a lot of times from charter schools. They just kind of eat whatever they want. They eat fast food down the road, whatever. You want to try to eliminate that and try to get these kids in a nutritional program that puts them in a position to be their best selves, so that they don't think about being tired, so that they don't think about being lazy, as opposed to just progressing and getting better. A lot of times I look at players and they're lugging around sometimes, and I think it just comes from just eating poorly. Other players have injury issues that continue to linger. A lot of times I think that just comes from, again, not taking care of your body early enough, and putting in the right habits that promote longevity and endurance and things like that. So if from the Lakers standpoint, we got to get state of the art with our analytics. All of that stuff, from what I understand, is not where it should be. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm happy to be wrong, because I haven't done any research of my own in that regard, just listening to others. And so everything I say is if the reports are true. But I try to attack things from a logical standpoint, and I think as a couch GM, and I think that the Lakers are in a good position right now. But you have to be willing to trust people. You have to be willing to take advice, and you have to trust that people are going to build this thing up, because it's going to help them if they do. So talk to the Masai Ujiri's, talk to the big name guys, see if they would be willing to take on a job like this, and then empower them to do so. Sometimes you gotta choose between your friendships and your family and the betterment of the business that you're in charge of, and that's a difficult thing. I don't know what's right, but I do know that there's a lot of pressure from all of us as fans who also are invested interest in this team, have a vested interest in this team, and unfortunately not in your family, not in your relationships. So consider all of us if you must, and understand that we love this team. Like someone like myself watched this Laker team with my mother, who's now with the Lord. But like some of my best memories with my mom were watching the Lakers. So I have a vested interest. Other people have other stories that are sometimes even deeper than one I have. And so when you're considering what it means to build up a franchise, regardless if it's the Lakers or any other sporting franchise or college, whatever, anything that anyone roots for, you got to respect the fact that people love this stuff and have their lives wrapped up in it, and will be upset. Sometimes take it, to heart when things don't work out. And then you can't make everybody happy. Some people aren't even logical. But if you do things correctly, it can lead to success. And even if you're not doing things correctly, if you take a step back and look at what you have in front of you, put the people in place to fix the problem, you can turn something around pretty quickly. And we're seeing that. And with the Laker organization and the brand that we have, this thing can turn around so fast. LeBron James here already. This is a good job. We just have to offer it to people and be willing to pay them and all that good stuff, which I know the Lakers are willing to do. Anyway, I'm certain Jeanie will probably never see this video, but somebody will. So just take into consideration what is being said in regards to your own businesses and everything. And, if you treat people right, people will always forgive you when you're wrong. If you treat them right, it's the truth. Anyway, take care, everybody. BDF, signing out.